Hey guys, Saki here, and welcome to another Kerbal Space Program video. We've got Sidbal ready to go to the launch pad with our next section of the mirror. This is the Kristall module. It's got two solar panels mounted there on the nose cones, and two additional solar panels on the side of that hitchhiker lander there. The most important addition that I did from this build opposed to the tutorial version was adding a disc probe body below that nose cone, so once this thing parks, then he'll be able to retract all the solar panels for us, do orientation for us, get the space station pointed the proper direction as we're ready to dock, so everything in the future will be easier when coming to the space station. And there's only just a few parts left of the space station after this. We've got the two more things to send up, the docking port for the space shuttle, and then the last of the modules that go on that four-way split. And then Mir will be done, and we can focus efforts on Minmus, maybe rovers on the moon, maybe even go to Duna. So we'll see where that leads once we have a complete space station up ahead. Launch profile on this Soyuz rocket is the exact same as all the others. We're just going through the motions now, but I do not miss my gravity turn on this version. This was a very efficient lift into orbit, especially compared to my last one for sure. Here we go, our gravity turn, and almost out of this stage. I'm very happy with this rocket, like I know I've said before, but it's definitely pulled its weight throughout this whole program, and I'm definitely glad that design was on there, but unfortunately it's not a good enough design to go to another world, so we're going to have to add ourselves an atomic engine and come up with a new design. And setting Mir as the target, putting our nav ball up only 1.7 degrees off. And I see that climbing, so then I move to the other side of the 90, and that starts dropping. And our apoapse is rising. And almost done with this section now. Full burn sideways to get the last out of these engines. Almost ready, and there we go. It's out of fuel. Separate, and that was a clean separation. How about that? All four falling at the exact same speed. But now onwards up to orbit, so we'll see you out there. And getting my orbit finalized, an 86 by 147. We'll circularize after this. Alright, we've circularized, and now we are just aiming our maneuver node, trying to get an encounter, and we see those orange indicators right down there. That's a 5-kilometer approach. Let's see if we can tidy that up some. 6.71, nice. Yeah, we'll leave it at that, so we'll just burn our way there. And a about 300 meter a second burn is what we need to get out to the Mir space station. And it looks like we're going to encounter it on the light side, so we're going to be able to really see everything that goes into this docking. And our ship silhouetted behind, or in front of the sun, and Kerbal below. As always, the moon is up ahead. It seems that every time we do one of these, the moon is always floating overhead, and the sun is always at our backs. But luckily we'll have something at least new to look at this time around. And I'm also going to try something new this time and detach the probe, since it does have a probe body capable of doing the maneuvers for us. We can detach it and let it fly into the mirror itself. So we will do that, and here we go, slowing down 1 meter a second. Alright, let's see if 0.5 is good enough to get us there. Scrolling back. Alright, it's 5.3. Let's add some RCS and bring this down as low as we can. It's amazing, just a little bit of thrust out here goes a long way on that other side. There's 2 kilometers now, looking better. We ideally want to be within 1 kilometer. And 1.2, and that's about as close as we're going to get, so we'll set our timer and we'll see you at the mirror. And here it comes below us, slowing down to match it. And since it's passing directly beneath us while we're burning forward, as soon as our target relative speed is 0, we will have essentially matched its orbit perfectly, which is kind of cool. Circularizing our orbit without even trying. We're just trying to get to the mirror and we end up doing good things. And there we go, less than a meter a second. Now we'll just point to the station and throttle it towards it like we usually do. I still have that second stage on my rocket. Not much fuel left in it, but luckily all I have to do is park this thing right outside and let the probe do the work. Since it has a large RCS tank, it can do all the maneuvering on its own without any help from us, or little to no help. The only thing we would have to do is if it ran out of battery power, we'd have to dock with it, open up the solar panels, and give it a quick recharge and let it try it again. But as far as heavy maneuvering, it should be on its own. So now we'll time accelerate towards the station at 1 kilometer and closing at 3 meters a second, just about. Luckily, time acceleration is here, so we can approach the station at a good speed, but also be able to slow down with enough warning. Alright, 300 meters, and here's 200, and we start seeing the glimmer from the space station. Now using RCS, after that time acceleration, we can get ourselves pointed in the correct orientation again. See those RCS thrusters firing on both the capsule and the rocket. And it doesn't seem to be turning or sliding much. So we'll come to a just stop this thing and then just point towards it again. Better to do that than just sort of slide towards it and hit it at a funny angle. Alright, so here we go, 3, 2, 1, and now we've stopped. Alright, I think it is time to let this probe go. Once we get on the light side, let's wait until daytime. We've practically stopped. The station is barely moving away from us. Okay, it's moving away from us a lot. But wow, there's that shadow up against the celestial plane. And there we go. Now we're in the sunlight, and let's work. Since we're 150 meters out, I'll just use the main rocket to get us there and closer. Figure I have not only the rest of this stage, but the whole next stage to get this done. So we'll throttle up just slightly. Use RCS to point our approach vectors together and close in on it. The sun is at our backs, so the station is well illuminated, and that's going to make docking this thing much easier because we actually have to back this thing in. There's no docking port on the nose, so we have to do everything backwards once we get in close. You can see the shadow of the spacecraft there on the solar panels of the space station. Little attention to detail like that really gives you depth perception and sets the tone for what you're doing. I always like seeing little touches like that. But as we're getting close, we'll go ahead and come to a stop and then just let the probe do the work. I'll transfer all the RCS fuel that I have in the rocket into the probe, which wasn't much. We didn't lose much from that probe. but we definitely want to make sure we have enough fuel to get the probe there and get it parked. And then once it gets parked, it has a bunch of different RCS tanks it can pull from. But we shouldn't have to detach it again. So we'll decouple the node, turn on RCS since it's its only way of moving, and thrust forward. There we go. The body is now independent. We can set this port as its target. And we can see there's our charge and our monopropellant. It looks like we're losing charge. So what I'll do is I'll pull out one solar panel from the nose. Little did I know how unstable it would make this thing. I just thrust it forward and I'm already spinning backwards. The solar panel is trying to turn itself to face the sun, gyrating, and then here I am trying to maneuver it towards the space station here. But we'll back up. And essentially it's just like the last maneuver where I'll want the pink dot right on the horizon line. And then once I get some momentum built up, I can slide the craft into position. So here we go. I'm looking right at it, doing my best to control this from the rear. And it is a handful, let me tell you. What I should have done is that battery would last a really long time. I should have just did what I could without the solar panel, and once I get down to the nitty-gritty, just open the solar panel. But there we go. I'm boosting in the right way. Now it's just a matter of doing fine-tune adjustments. Now I'm too high. Oh, crap, I bumped into it. Well, this is good. That stopped our movement, and we're practically there. So just a small thrust forward. Don't look like we damaged anything. Now just thrust up and hope magnets can pull us in. It's so finicky because I need some movement to get the nav ball up. Oh, now it's on the other side. Trying this again. I'm almost there. Almost there. Okay, now we're ready to back up. Since we're moving away from the station, I have that marker showing we're moving away. And now I've got some room to back up and then adjust. There we go. There we go. And let it sit. Okay, the magnets are starting to talk. Nope. Crap. Alright. Let's try not to damage this thing. Slide it into place. Point the pod towards it. Oh, there we go. Now we've got some movement. And then I will rotate the capsule while I can to get that solar panel array away. And come on, connect. This is like the longest 10 seconds as you're waiting for this thing to connect. Rotation. Come on, you know you want to. And show me Kerbals. Show me Kerbals. There we go. So, only a few more parts to bring up. We'll do that in the next episodes. This has been Sokka. Extend these panels, and thanks for watching. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.